So in last lecture we discussed about this liver function test. That is, there are this liver function tests. They are classified based on the functionality of the liver. Okay. So first is to determination of the liver's capacity to transport the organic components and drug metabolism. Okay, to evaluate the liver's capacity, and the test we included in this is bilirubin. Okay, the test for bilirubin both in serum and urine. So evaluation of bilirubin, in that we discussed about the total bilirubin, then direct bilirubin and indirect bilirubin. Okay, so increase the bilirubin levels above the normal range, it is suggestive of liver disease. There are three types of serum bilirubin. We discussed that about this total bilirubin, direct bilirubin, and indirect bilirubin. Total bilirubin, it is a form of bilirubin which is insoluble in the water. Okay, so it includes both the conjugated and unconjugated form. Total bilirubin, that is the values of both conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin. Then direct bilirubin, which is soluble in the water. So it gives the levels of conjugated bilirubin in the serum sample. And indirect bilirubin, it is an unconjugated part of the bilirubin and is calculated by the difference of total and direct values. Okay. So which diseases get from this levels of bilirubin? Yes. Which diseases of the liver we can diagnose? Yes. By judging the levels of direct, indirect, and total bilirubin. What are the names of the diseases of liver? Yes.
Jaundice.
Yes, hepatitis, that is. Then cirrhosis, okay. Or we can also evaluate the harmful effects of the medications. So any drugs, if gives rise to bad effects on the liver, we can also judge by this evaluating the levels of this both. Okay, that is indirect bilirubin, direct bilirubin. Okay. It also aids in analyzing the presence of gallstones, that is obstruction, okay, or any tumors of pancreas. Okay. Then this, as this destruction of RBCs gives rise to this bilirubin, it also helpful to diagnose or this diagnose the conditions like hemolytic anemia. Okay. So by evaluating the bilirubin values, we can judge the disease of liver, any obstructive condition, or disease of blood, that is about hemolytic anemias. Okay. So this to judge the levels of bilirubin is very, very important, or to advise the bilirubin examination is very, very essential. That if you want to diagnose any condition related to liver or anemic, any conditions like anemia. Now, the second test we discussed last time is determination of hepatocytic injury. Okay. So, yes, anyone, what are the tests we perform to determine the hepatocytic injury, injuries to the hepatocyte? Yes, it is related with some enzyme study. Yes, first enzyme is alkaline phosphatase. The first enzyme is alkaline phosphatase. So in the liver, this particular alkaline phosphatase, this enzyme, it contains in the microvilli of the bile canaliculi and the sinusoidal surface of the hepatocytes. This alkaline phosphatase elevation in the levels of this enzyme indicates the disorder of liver, and also one more organ. Yes, it is also helpful to diagnose the disease of that particular organ other than the liver. Which one? Yes. This alkaline phosphatase is synthesized by the bone also, that is osteoblasts, okay, which are involved in the formation of bones, osteoblasts. This synthesizes this alkaline phosphatase. So whenever the levels of alkaline phosphatase increases, it indicates the disorder of either bone or either liver. Okay, so whenever there is any obstruction related to liver, obstructive pathology of liver, that is bile duct blockage, it can cause the elevation of levels of alkaline phosphatase. Okay, and the conditions like cirrhosis, then cancer of liver, hepatitis, it causes moderate increase in the levels of alkaline phosphatase in the blood, and the conditions like hypothyroidism, pernicious anemia, zinc deficiency causes decrease in the levels of alkaline phosphatase. What is the normal levels of alkaline phosphatase? Yes, anyone? What are the normal values of alkaline phosphatase? Yes,
20 to 140.
oh, it is 44 to 147 international unit per liter. Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
44 to 147.
44 to 147.
Okay. So these are the normal values of alkaline phosphatase. The next enzyme is aminotransferase. Okay. The next enzyme is aminotransferase. So there are two tests of this particular liver function test, that is aspartate aminotransferase and alanine aminotransferase. This aspartate aminotransferase, it is also called as SGOT levels, that is serum glutamate oxaloacetic transaminase. And ALT, it is known as previously SGPT, that is serum glutamic pyruvic transaminase, SGPT. So this AST and ALT levels are very, very important to evaluate the functions of the liver. Okay, any damage to the liver. So AST, it is present in wide number in the tissues like various other organs also other than the liver, that is heart, kidneys and brain, liver. Okay, and ALT, that is alanine aminotransferase, it is primarily present in the liver. So among these two, that is AST and ALT, this ALT is considered as a better parameter and more specific to the liver functions. Okay, so these two aminotransferase are mostly analyzed in the individuals undergoing treatment for the liver diseases to evaluate the efficacy of the liver, to evaluate any damage of the liver. Okay, so to that again, to evaluate the metabolism of the liver. So very, very important study, this AST and ALT, that is SGOT and HGPT levels. Then next we discussed is about gamma glutamyl transferase, GGT, gamma glutamyl transferase, that is GGT levels. So this enzyme, it is largely present in the pancreas, liver, kidneys, intestine and prostate. Okay. So in the extremes of the age, these levels, they are higher, that is in infants and the individuals beyond the age of 60. And the conditions like viral hepatitis, the levels of GGT are always raised, elevated. Okay. And it remains up to 6 weeks after the illness. So they are remain elevated after 6 weeks, okay, of illness, up to 6 weeks of illness. And the levels of ALT and GGT both rises in the cholestatic disorders, that is if there are gallstones, if there is any obstruction related to gallstones, this ALT and GGT levels both get raised. And the other condition, in the other conditions like this pancreatitis, then myocardial infarction, diabetes mellitus, it also causes rise in the GGT levels. Okay, so it gives rise to the functionality of other than the liver, like heart, okay, then pancreas. And in the pancreas, that is the functioning of the pancreas by evaluating the this enzyme study. Okay, so pancreatic this efficacy, then heart efficacy, it also get indicated by the levels of this, or by judging the levels of GGT. Okay, now third part is still remaining, that is to determine determination of biosynthesis capacity. Biosynthesis capacity of the liver. It involves determining levels of the protein synthesized by the liver. This third test, it is for determination of biosynthesis capacity, that is the protein synthesized by the liver. So this includes serum albumin, then alpha-1, antitrypsin and prothrombin. Okay, so determination of biosynthesis capacity. Now, the first is serum proteins. Okay, so the most important proteins that are synthesized by liver are, yes, could you tell me what are the proteins synthesized by liver? Name of the protein synthesized by liver. Yes, anyone? That is albumin, globulin, coagulation factor and fibrinogen. Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
These, they are synthesized by liver, and by judging the levels of proteins, we can evaluate the biosynthesis capacity of the, or functioning of the liver. So the important proteins that are synthesized by livers are albumin, globulin, then fibrinogen and coagulating factor. Okay. Now about first one, that is albumins. It is the essential protein synthesized by liver. It is essential protein synthesized by liver, and it acts as a carrier for many molecules such as bilirubin, progesterone, and even the medicines. And it also helpful to maintain the osmotic pressure of the blood. Okay, so this albumin is very, very important. It acts as a carrier for many molecules like bilirubin, progesterone, and even the drugs or medicines. And also it helpful to maintain the osmotic pressure of the blood. As the liver is a important site for synthesis of this albumin, its level in the serum helps in understanding the health state of the liver. So we can judge the health state of the liver by knowing the levels of albumin in the serum. Now, this can be the levels of this albumin can be affected not only by the liver disease but also due to the nutritional deficiencies. Okay? So during pregnancy, the levels of albumin becomes lower than the normal range. Okay, so it also helps us to judge the nutritional status of our system. Okay, so during pregnancy, what will going to happen? The levels get decreases or they become a little bit lower than the normal range. Then the considerable decrease in the levels of serum albumin may be the sign of existing liver disease. So it decrease in the levels of this albumin. It may be the sign of kidney diseases which causes excretion of this protein. So this protein ultimately get excreted from the, yes, which organ?
Urine.
Yes, it get excreted through the urine, that is from kidney, get filtered from the kidney and get excreted. Okay, so the decrease in the level may be the sign of kidney diseases. Then the liver cirrhosis also brings down the albumin levels rapidly. Whenever there is any dysfunction or any metabolic derangement of the liver, in that conditions, the level of albumins get decreases. For other parameters, that is of kidney disease. In case of kidney disease, so the levels of albumin get decreased. Okay, so this albumin, it is an important marker to evaluate or to determine the biosynthesis capacity of the liver. Okay, because it is a very, very important protein which is synthesized by the liver. Okay, then second protein is globulin. This is the second one important protein which is so helpful to evaluate this capacity of the or biosynthesis capacity of the liver. Now there are 4 groups associated with this globulin. That is, first is gamma globulin, then beta globulin, alpha 1 and 2, that is alpha 2 globulin. These are the 4 main globulins of which the levels we can judge by knowing the levels of this, that is the disease of the liver or decrease in the biosynthesis capacity of the liver. The first is gamma globulin. This gamma globulin, it is associated with immune system. This beta globulin, it is helpful to transport the hormones in the blood. Beta globulins, they are helpful for transportation of various hormones in the blood. And alpha 1 and alpha 2 globulin with clotting factors present in the serum or in the blood. Okay, so these four globulins, the levels of which should get maintained to for the normal metabolism. So gamma globulin, they are associated with immunological system, beta globulin for transport, and alpha 1, alpha 2 globulins, they are associated with the clotting factors present in the blood. Now, the high levels of globulin, the high levels of globulin in the serum, they are uh, they always indicates the liver diseases and many other conditions such as any bone marrow disorders, then kidney diseases, then leukemias and rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, so the high levels of globulin in the serum, they are indicative of various liver diseases uh, like cirrhosis, hepatitis, okay, and many other conditions also such as leukemias, then bone marrow diseases, kidney diseases, and rheumatoid arthritis. So in these conditions, the levels of globulin, they are high. Okay, high levels of globulin in the serum, they are indicative of liver diseases. Then the low levels of globulin are also considered to be indicative of liver diseases, then hemolytic anemia and IBS, that is inflammatory bowel disease or irritable bowel syndrome. So IBS is again the this in particular this disease or hemolytic anemia, the levels of globulin so deranges, that is they become at lower side than the normal. Now, what is the normal ratio of albumin to globulin? That is albumin to globulin ratio. This albumin to globulin ratio, it should be 2:1. Albumin to globulin ratio, it should be 2:1. There is if there are two molecules of albumin, there should be one molecule of globulin. It is considered as a normal. And whenever there is increased ratio of albumin globulin, it is indicative of hypothyroidism. And decrease in the ratio of albumin globulin, they indicates the liver dysfunction. The liver's dysfunction. Okay, so these levels or this ratio should be 2:1, and the ratio is albumin globulin ratio, that is two molecules of albumin is to one molecule of globulin. Still students are entering. Why so late? Okay. Okay. Then is there is any query related to this part, albumin and globulin? Yes.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Then third is total proteins. The levels of total proteins. It is the measure of all the types of proteins that are present in the blood serum. So it is important measure of all the types of proteins that are present in the blood serum, basically albumin and globulin. A decrease in the levels of total protein occurs in the liver diseases, and the total protein levels are analyzed to detect any change in the health of that individual or to diagnose the kidney disease. So the evaluation of total proteins is also very, very important. Okay. So basically it is all about of or related with albumin and globulin levels. Okay. So decrease in the levels of total proteins, it mainly occurs in the liver diseases such as, yes, in which this metabolism of the liver get affected. So what are the diseases in which this metabolism get deranged?
Ma'am, hepatitis.
Hepatitis, yes.
Uh, Liver cirrhosis.
Liver cirrhosis, then, yes, and conditions in which metabolism of the liver get disturbed. Yes. Fatty liver disease. It is fatty.
Ma'am, diabetes.
Uh, yes, in diabetes also, but it is a late complication of diabetes. Okay, in which liver metabolism may get affected. Any other than this particular diabetes?
And ma'am, if we take more alcohol, then also, na?
This alcoholic, that is infiltration, fatty infiltration. We call it as
Ma'am, jaundice.
jaundice. Yes. Then, yes, related with nutrition. Okay, related with nutrition. Then nutritional deficiencies.
Malnutrition.
Malnutrition. Right, right. Then fatty liver, fatty infiltration, fatty degeneration. Okay, or any conditions like amoebic abscess of the liver. Amoebic abscess of the liver, in which this liver metabolism it get affected. Okay.
Ma'am, if cholesterol level is increase or decrease in that case.
Oh no. Nowhere relation with this cholesterol levels to the any derangement of the metabolism of the liver. Okay. So serious affections of this metabolism, the conditions we just talked, that is, it is hepatitis, cirrhosis, fatty liver, then liver infiltration of the liver, any tumors of the liver, amoebic abscess of the liver. So these are all conditions in which there is decrease in the levels of total proteins. Okay. So the another test, it is commonly recommended to diagnose the liver function is prothrombin time. Okay. Prothrombin time. Increase in prothrombin time is an indicator of liver disease. Okay. So this is all about of total proteins. What are the indications and why we should diagnose or why we should analyze the levels of total protein? What are the causes? It is nothing but whenever the total protein levels they get decreases, it is indicative of liver diseases. Okay. So it also evaluate the functioning of the kidneys, total protein examination. It also indicative of the diseases other than liver is the important organ is kidney. So the evaluation of the excretory capacity of kidneys or reabsorptive capacity of kidneys, we should evaluate the levels of this total protein. Okay, so this was the last part from the liver function tests. Okay. Okay. I want to ask to November batch whether this topic is covered or not, cirrhosis of the liver.
No, no, ma'am. No.
No, ma'am.
This part,
No, ma'am. It's remaining.
today we start with the liver cirrhosis. Okay. This part is remain, no, while completing the GI topics. So cirrhosis of liver and is remaining. Okay, so today we will start with this topic, cirrhosis of the liver. Now, any query related to the liver function test? Yes, if there is any query, because very important part from this liver disorders, liver function test, always it is commonly asked question in the exams. Okay, in that you have to this give this significance of this three tests, that is determination of the liver capacity, then determination of the hepatocytic injuries, and determination of the biosynthesis capacity. Okay, so you have to explain in that, or if it is asked individually, you can write, okay, about the individual markers of the liver function tests. So no queries, no? So today we are going to start with the cirrhosis of liver.
मॅम
Yes, yes, yes.
मॅम या आधीच्या टॉपिकचे एसएस द्या ना, फक्त एसएस घेण्यासाठी 1 मिनिट स्लाइड शो दाखवा ना.
आधीचे topic, yes, functions of the liver.
लिव्हर फंक्शन.
Okay,
हा येस मॅम.
okay, take this one. Is that okay? In the liver function test, you have to explain all these things, huh? Like what is significance of this aminotransferase, gamma glutamyl transferase, what is the significance of alkaline phosphatase levels. Okay, so you have to write down all these things. Just now I am going to stop this meeting because time is running. I will send the or you can join again to that the same meeting. Okay, you can join again to that same this link.